Over 2,000 years ago, the cry was, "Behold, the kingdom of God is at hand." And this expression, "is at hand," is very rarely spoken about in Christianity or in eschatological terms. And it's always worth trying to understand what at hand means. Something that is at hand is near, close, or among you. And this is very important to understand and coming to understand what the kingdom of God is. And we've always understood it to be, waiting for something to come down out of the sky. This is how we've understood the written word. In the beginning, when we drinking of milk, we understood many things in that way, looking up towards the sky for things to come from a distance. But it's never been that way ever. It's because the kingdom of God is always near, at hand, close. And Messiah himself said that he wasn't very far from each one of us. So we have to really come to think deeply about the meaning of all these terms. When it was said it was the last hour, is at hand, close, near, it's never spoken of as being far away. And I think many Christians are missing out on entering the kingdom of God because they can't perceive it, they can't understand it, they can't see it, so to speak. That the kingdom of God is already here, in operation, and always has been throughout these generations. And so from that understanding that how the closeness of the kingdom of God is to us, to each one of us, individually and collectively, as one of our dear sisters said once, we can begin to see how we walk as citizens in that kingdom, and the work that the Lord does through each. The work the Lord does through each of those citizens. And out of the mouths of these citizens of the kingdom will bring words of healing, light, and reconciliation. And we won't be following the ministry of doom and gloom anymore. They've stepped out of it and been led and taught by God himself, recognizing that they don't need any man to teach them anything. And this is very important for all Christians to come to understand. So when we stop sucking the tit of the beginning of things, the beginning of teachings, the milk of teachings, and come on to the full feast of what we've been invited to enjoy and share together. So we can envisage you all sitting at the table with the great feast and enjoying the food together. And to understand what that means is that it's a symbolic term, a symbolic metaphor to represent the coming together of people in the kingdom, sharing with Christ, and as he provides the living waters that flow. And these are words that bubble up from within you, and these words have no darkness in them. Only those who are proclaiming darkness don't have this river of waters of life flowing up and bubbling from within them. But let me rephrase that. They do have it, but they haven't learned how to do it yet. They haven't learned how to speak it yet. So really, we have to listen to each one's testimony, and even some of the things we shudder at that we might hear. It isn't for us to let someone to stop someone enjoying the food that's been provided to them, and so we take a piece of each other's portion and share it because we love each other. And this is what the Father's trying to lead us to be, and this is how we're supposed to be different in our dealings with each other. And and so it's how we say it. It's how we say things is the key to the unity and winning your brother or sister over, and the putting up with each other in love. And it takes humility towards each other to be able to do that, because the natural desire, the natural desire is to oppose and condemn. And but we are overcomers of all of that, and the Lord is helping us to see and become be, yeah, He's helped us to see that and become. I've lost my way now. So the Lord has helped us to see what the way we're supposed to share with each other, because we're all one under Christ. We have to recognise that. If we don't think that we're not all one, that means we think we are separate, because so those who proclaiming separation haven't come into the oneness. Can you see how all things are already there, placed in us? It's all there. The kingdom is within. The kingdom. We are one with Christ. We've been resurrected, raised. All those terms, all those symbolic metaphors, they've all been fulfilled. All we have to do is accomplish them. The accomplishment of the things that have been fulfilled. And this is it's just amazing how humans perceive things. And once we come out of that and enter into spiritual maturity, we can fully understand all things, and the fullness of all things is already there. It's already there waiting for us to seek it, knock for it, and ask for it. And glory to the Father, because the things that He's done, He's provided those things for every single human being to dig for and find and grope around for in the darkness. And when we find it, we come out of the darkness and into that light of Christ, and we see all things, and then we are no longer able to be deceived or confused, and set free from the enslavement of words. And trust me, the power of words is so strong and elusive that we don't really understand it, how powerful and strong it is. And throughout history, whole nations have risen and fallen through a spoken word. And this is how the kingdom will come in. It will be raised above all the other mountains by that spoken word within, the living word manifested from within. And this is Father's desire for His children, to have Him and Christ reside, living in us as one. So we have the oneness with each other, the oneness with Christ, and there we are, one only. That's it. So we have to recognize and see that. And once we recognize and see that, we begin to realize that, hey, I can't speak to my brother or sister like that anymore. It wouldn't be right, because you're speaking it to yourself. You bring, as we said before, you're bringing condemnation upon yourself. You're bringing doom and gloom upon your shoulders, upon your own self. And this is why you never make progress. And this is why we have to walk in the pureness of the light, the pure light. So that pure light has a way of speaking to each other. It has a way of being upbuilding, and it's a real art form, and man can't teach you that. Only Jesus Christ can teach you that from within. He teaches from within. He's come upon your temple to come within, so that living word can be flowing, bubbling up from within us if we keep seeking it. And it's His work that it's done, it's not ours. We can't do it. It's impossible for us to do it ourselves. And yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. Have a great weekend.